In just 2 days, two events hit the heart of American government, and both ask the same question. How far can power go before it breaks the very system it claims to protect? First, President Trump says he may declare a new national emergency in Washington, D.C. to reassert federal control over the city's police force. He already used a law called the Home Rule Act, Section 740, to take control for 30 days back in August. Now that order has expired, and after Mayor Bowser excluded ICE from the city's Emergency Operations Center and reiterated that MPD does not conduct immigration enforcement, Trump is threatening to invoke it again. This might sound like bureaucratic infighting. It's not. Washington, D.C. isn't just a city. It's the seat of government, the one place the Constitution says Congress must have exclusive legislation. But for over 50 years, D.C. has operated under a fragile form of local self-rule. The founders feared a state controlling the federal government's home. But even James Madison, in Federalist 43, imagined the residents of the capital would still have a municipal legislature for local purposes. And Alexander Hamilton warned that relying on force to govern civilians would elevate the military over the civil, an erosion of liberty. And here we are, watching the D.C. National Guard, which reports directly to the president, loom over a city caught in a constitutional tug-of-war. Then came the second blow. A federal judge ruled that the Trump administration unlawfully ordered the mass firing of over 25,000 probationary federal workers. Most had not yet completed their first year of service, meaning they had limited appeal rights and were easier to terminate. The court said the directive violated civil service protections, but didn't reinstate the workers. Instead, it ordered 19 federal agencies to correct personnel records by November 14th and ignore similar directives in the future. This might sound like a human resources dispute, but it strikes at the core of how our government is staffed and what values it serves. After the chaos of the 19th century spoils system, Congress passed the Pendleton Act to protect public servants from being hired or fired based on politics. It was designed to preserve professionalism, not patronage. And yet, here we are, watching an administration test how far it can go to purge government workers based on loyalty, not merit. Both stories ask the same question. What's the proper balance between executive power and constitutional restraint? The founders wanted a government strong enough to act, but bound by law, not loyalty. And when the balance tips, through emergency declarations, mass firings, blurred lines between civil and military power, we have to ask, where are the guardrails? And who's watching them? Because if we get used to these things, if we shrug off every overreach, we won't notice when the balance is gone. But we're not powerless. We can demand transparency. We can insist on oversight. We can reward competence over obedience. The founders left us tension on purpose. Tension between power and restraint, liberty and security, local and federal. The real question is, are we willing to stand in that tension long enough to preserve what's worth keeping? Or are we too tired to care until it's too late? What are you doing to hold that line? If you haven't yet, please check the pinned video on my profile. It has an important update about this account.